Welcome, my friends and enemies. Glad you are here. I hate my life. But
Same.
here
We're
we
glad
are.
you're here, but we're not glad to be here.
Yeah, well, we are glad to
Indeed.
be here. We're just not glad to be here
Are we?
experiencing this torturous process that is
So we're not
Amazon's Ring
glad
of
to be
Power.
here then.
No, we're glad to be here because we're together. We're the Council of the Light. We're
But does
together,
that
most of us.
cancel out the bads? I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah, considering our conversations usually end up being more entertaining than interesting than the content we cover. That's the
fair
story.
enough. Fair enough.
But also, we get to be with you, wonderful folks, even though it's not a live stream. But
Well, in
Be
this
as it
case,
may.
it's a dead stream because we're dead watching this.
dead inside, Mudvayne, yeah, baby.
Like the elves in the show, our souls are dying watching this.
Yeah, if only we had some mithril.
If only I had a ring.
Oh no. Where did you get that?
But if we're watching the show,
Well,
we really want to use the ring.
There's
We
this
didn't
this
force
friendly
him.
guy. This is this friendly guy who's handing out gifts at a wedding.
Ah,
His name is Halron.
I think
interesting.
his name was Anatar or something.
That's like a very specific recollection of a name that you don't remember that well.
I remember he said I could be the Lord of the Rings, and I didn't really understand what he meant, but I guess I do now.
Yeah. I mean, you
Or-
did get a ring.
Or
so-
it's one of the guys that was there. I think his name was Smeagol or something. He said the Lord of the Ring.
Hmm.
Lord of Ring. Anyway, that's a video game joke. So anyway, let's get this started and our misery to its full completion. So, you guys ready?
No.
Oh, let me quickly make sure.
For some definition of that word, I am ready.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Oh, we're
I'd
going to
already
skip the
forgotten.
recap. We don't need to. I like how to skip the recap and the intro completely separately.
And then you need to do like 10 clicks on the 10 seconds.
Another 20 seconds included on top of that. Like we're already
Okay.
freaking 4 minutes in before
This
we even hit
is
something.
I
like
will
the
say
Misty
this,
Mountains.
when I don't have anything on
They're
notes,
What's
mountains,
it's
weird?
always
That's
like
a
marginal
transition.
like that.
This is the one that they give to the dwarf lords. All 7 of them. Why he reaches all the way around to the other one, I don't get, but okay.
No, he wants that one because it's got a nice big gem.
precious.
Now, in the actual lore, the rings made for men and dwarves do have something of a draw to them that the 3 elven ones aren't supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the disembodied whispering. I like how they don't even show us how they get there. They just are there. Like we don't get to see them made or anything.
Why do they put them like
But
the glued
my understanding
onto?
of the lore is they shouldn't be that bad until the one ring is forged that connects them.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think it's
Well,
like
no,
we're attempting to
I think they
dig.
do corrupt.
Yeah,
Still.
they have a draw on their power. It's corruptible, but it's resistible and like functional. But then once the one comes in and sort of like networks them together and all that, you know.
Mhm.
With the
Well,
triple
see,
sigma.
I'm pretty sure the 7 and the 9 are supposed to have the same effect. Were planned to.
That
but
pickaxe
because of
looks
the
like
dwarves
plastic.
having super resistance against that.
I'll pause the
they,
video for 1 second.
Sure,
Pause the
but
video.
I can't.
That pickaxe is so plastic. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
It's like they couldn't afford an actual pickaxe or something.
To be fair, the weapons in the Hobbit also look ridiculous.
Let me guess. He's gonna walk up and say, "There's mithril behind here." I'm betting that's what's gonna be.
So, what do you want it paused for?
Yeah,
again?
stop 1 second. Stop the video for 1 second. So, just so the Sauron's plan,
This is the perfect subtitle to be You're breathing heavily.
Sauron's plan seemed to be that he wanted the elves to forge the 7 and the 9 so he could take control of men and dwarves, and he knew the elves were leaving, so that's why he figured they'd all be gone by the time he took control of everything. And
Makes
then
sense.
when Celebrimbor forged the 3, and that's when his plans got messed up. You know, so
It's always the elves messing every evil plan up.
Indeed. Well, messing
So,
every plan, I
Are we
guess.
ready to do?
Yeah.
Are we ready? Are we ready for Little Durin to give him the meat and give it to him raw, or
I'd rather not watch that.
Yes,
But I mean, you can go ahead.
I don't know why he just like slammed it into it.
A foundation wall. Okay,
In a mountain.
I guess.
Yeah.
Mountains also have foundations, right?
Did ancient Italian masons make the mountain?
Well, it's like that's a foundation wall. It is like dig here anyway.
Maybe the other Balrog is behind that wall.
An axe. I'm going to mine with an axe.
Brightening and darkening is so irritating.
Why would the dwarves have it so not well lit?
Well, you see, they ran out of starlight lamps.
So that's a foundation wall, but he effortlessly cuts it with his pickaxe.
Yeah, and well, looks like it's.
We better move everyone out to Moria soon. The foundation is going to crumble.
It keeps hitting the exact same spot. I don't think that's how you mine.
Well, it depends on what you want to achieve.
Inside there's like a Balrog.
I don't know why the king's doing that when he could have somebody, literally anybody else do it.
Oh, are they tying us into the what the hell was it called?
Why do you need light?
They dug too greedy, not too deep.
No, the dwarves call it the Urkenstone.
Oh yeah, but that's not here.
I know, but they could change anything they want apparently. Is that going to be like the what the hell?
So did he dig to the outside?
If you poke,
Oh my God, it's the outside. We've never seen that before.
If you poke the same spot and mine the exact same spot over and over again, it digs all the way through the outside of the mountain and pops a hole.
But why is that
What
relevant?
is that bright light in the sky, Jordan?
They have a door, right? Why do
But he's
they
like,
need?
we need light. I'm like, why do you need light? I don't get.
I have no idea what's going on
The
here.
ring he's going by the ring to pick spots to dig.
They have a
but
black
why
door.
does he want
again.
to dig to the outside?
Well, he says we need light, and then he's like, pity those who need light. And it's like, wait a minute, what?
Oh, now the dwarves are. Oh my God, what is that bright light in the sky?
You know what's really funny though is that they were like, we have to make plants and vegetables. I'm like, but dwarves don't like vegetables.
Well, that's never confirmed.
They like that meat on the bone.
So in the actual mines of Moria, they had great shafts which were dedicated to bring sunlight below the surface.
Mm-hmm. But that's not like one tiny hole.
And why are the Earth Singers being like, oh man, it's depressing?
Well, because they don't have a job anymore, I guess.
Well, I mean, they do.
Why
would they want to go around, or why would the king want to go around and do everything himself when they can still do stuff? Oh, that's the excuse me. That's the other Alvin Smith with Anatar Sauron person.
Yeah, the one they call a video game ripoff character.
Okay.
Why did you bring the doors here?
Because let's not think about that too much.
And Sauron's standing right there, hearing everything. And Sauron's like, I'm upset. Hospitality is much appreciated. Can't even really hear that visual audibly. Why does it matter if it's short or long?
Don't know.
I don't get it. I'm completely flabbergasted. What is his point?
I think Halron wants the rings forged and nothing else.
Yeah, but why?
It's not like in the canon. It only took 300 years to do this.
30 seconds of an extra long speech is not going to shove his plans into a hole in the corner. I really want him to thump his head on that.
So, wait, you keep it going, but like last episode or episode, like maybe it's not even a day ago, he's like, "You're the greatest thing in the world, Scamatar," but now he's like distrusting him. Like 2 episodes later.
Yeah, that seems a bit soon.
That took at least 100 years in the canon for him to even think Anatar might be a problem.
No, I mean, Celebrimbor just really doesn't like men.
Numenor.
Is that how they say it?
Numenor. I don't do the 3R rule, but I still don't understand. Like, I also like to point out that Celebrimbor is still wearing the same exact dress, old granny dress he's worn in the first season.
Yeah, of course.
How would there be a risk of corruption? You don't know what the rings are going to do if their only purpose is to make everything better.
Details.
Remember, these elves think humans suck. Remember, canonically, the one group of humans that wouldn't suck would be the Dunedain, the Edain,
Mm-hmm. Specifically, those in Numenor, of course.
Now he's mentioning people from the Silmaril. Eren, Erendil, Tuor.
But why Arendil, though?
So, well, he's pointing out. So, Celebrimbor's like men are too easily corrupted. I'm like, how would they be corrupted by rings that are not corrupting?
No, that's a.
He actually read ahead in the script and he saw that they did actually corrupt. So
that
he
is
has
a
meta knowledge on the
in this show. Remember, in this show, right? All men allied with Melkor. Remember at the beginning, all the men allied with Melkor or Morgoth or whatever.
I honestly don't remember that at all.
The whole thing with the
whole
that Halron is supposed to be pretending to be a king of when he's a human.
This is where the girlsmith comes into play.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, the girlsmith that's called Smith. Yeah, that's literally the name.
Why is Celebrimbor telling a envoy of the Valar no? That's what I don't get.
Because he is racist.
Because it's very badly written, but he's racist too. Yeah.
He's like, I won't do it, and he's like, I'll make it myself. Then he's like, what? We can't do that.
Wait, why did you need Celebrimbor in the first place then?
This is the best scene in the whole thing. The water. That's it. Well done.
Indeed, the sea is always right.
Especially when it drowns Numenor. Why would the elves didn't build anything in Numenor, did they? I don't recall that being a thing.
The Valar created Numenor.
The Valar made the island.
Yeah,
and then 30 years later, Elros led the
I guess you could technically call him an elf, sort of, but not really.
He had made the choice by then. Even though he looked like an elf, he'd be counted among the men. I'm trying to remember if the elves helped him at the beginning or not.
I don't think that's mentioned.
It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't be the elves who had the final say, though. It'd be the men because it's the men's home.
And why is Alfaris? Well, I guess because they're speeding it up. He should be young and virile now, not old and cantankerous.
Oh,
he dyes his hair gray, so he looks older. But
Alfaris, like Elendil and his father, were throwbacks to the ancient men of Numenor. They're supposed to be like warrior, like great builds, warrior, like you know what I mean?
Yep.
Actually, before he went to the land, Alfarazan at first seemed like he was going to be a decent guy and a friend to bridge the gap between the Kingsmen and the faithful. And something happened when he went to Middle Earth and among the colonies of Numenor and helped fight against evil. So Tolkien never specified it, but something happened.
Yeah, he might have met someone who gave gifts or something.
Could be.
Oh no, they're making it her fault for everything that falls after this.
Yeah, isn't it then?
Oh no, are they gonna have Muriel and Elendil be a thing?
I sure hope not.
What?
Oh no!
She opened his heart to the way of the faithful?
Again. I don't want them to make them a thing. I like how he touched the Palantir for like a second, and all of a sudden has this ginormous long dream.
Yeah, time flows differently.
Okay, every battle is literally thought to be won. That's how it works.
But this doesn't make any sense.
It does not make any sense.
Well, to be fair, I know what the actual story is supposed to be, so maybe that's...
It wouldn't make sense even if either J.R.R. Tolkien had died in World War I, this wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
This is more interesting than the show.
A minute, this doesn't look like Rings of Power.
That's because it's not. I really hate these. So there's another ad break too. Great. That's just peaky. Instant shouting. We got the ships of Numenor that can hold thousands and thousands of stuff.
With their TARDIS bays.
They're taking away all the sea guard armor and weapon.
But why?
Farazan, I would assume. Again, why is she a part of this?
So basically,
you agree.
Silver is on the mainland, right? they're going to need someone on this island to save the tree.
Mm-hmm. Which is not her.
Well, it's going to be hard on the show. You know that.
No, because she's evil.
She'll redeem herself in some,
That's impossible. What?
I don't know why he didn't just disown her. Like, literally, that would be the easiest decision ever. Throw her on the ground. That's not how you pick captains, guys. If they see him as a captain, he's captain.
I don't care if he's a captain. He's supposed to be the heir to Anthony. So I'm guessing he and the Loyalists are going to leave, go back to Anthony, and build the 9 ships.
Probably.
You can't tell them that they can't refer to somebody else as a captain.
Why would you be... These people are unhinged.
I just don't see how she just went to this whole switch.
Bad writing.
Like,
Yeah.
well, it's like out of the completely out of the blue. She goes first season, blah 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 blah. She sees the Palantir. We don't get anything. The second season, she's a complete traitor to everything her family stands for.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it doesn't make sense.
The justification they use in show universe, I guess, is that
they're going to bring this even further.
He's going to use the Elstone. We need a new king.
Oh no!
It shouldn't work, or should kill him.
The fastest monarchy swap ever recorded. Why are they lifting up the anvil in the air? I don't get it.
They're going to drop it on someone's head.
Acme style?
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't Halron forging rings on his own now?
Is it who?
Halron, isn't he? Didn't he say I'm going to go forge rings or whatever?
Hmm. Is this why you don't let women in strategy meetings?
So in the show, Halron is off the elves and Adar's forces against each other.
What the fuck?
Why are they? Why are they? They're showing like stuff from real world, like shots of like Russia or something. Why is she just dressing him down?
That's not what the elven rings do.
Yes. Did you know that if you take your cape off, you'll all of a sudden exceed your normal speeds as you run?
I mean that's actually true. It is rather a aerodynamic.
Not that kind of speed, but they're also elven cloaks. They're not supposed to be like drag.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, you're the one person who can go and talk to him all the time about that and tell him off.
These two are the only like decent actors in this whole show, other than the dude playing Ellendale.
Which is really ironic.
The guy
pre-show.
Elendil is kind of.
She's not given much.
Yeah, I guess
in the
Elendil.
first season, he had a couple of good parts, but this is like. Actually, I want to. The woman playing Tamiriel is a decent actress, but she has a horrible role.
I mean, yeah, nothing can save that writing.
Like these scenes when these two interacting, these actors have good chemistry, and when they're doing like the family stuff and whatever, that's when these two look good. Like when they're with the children last season and whatever. But then all that interesting good stuff they could have done, instead it's like these are little snippets, and they get all the horrible stuff. Like out of nowhere, she has him do a coup, like for no logical reason.
A tuning crystal. I don't.
It's not a bowling ball.
No, it's a tuning crystal. It's like a broken.
It's actually a Palantir, but it's slightly dusty. So
why are these people like the freaking? Oh my gosh, she's an idiot.
At least I write to the Balrog. Is that your dog?
It's not mine. Or
are you sure?
Yes, it is mine.
He always cries during the show.
No, it's because family's getting home. Really?
Yeah, it rolled all the way down to, I guess, the bridge of Khazad-dûm at some point, maybe.
Maybe she'll find the silver roll.
This is the Balrog.
Is it?
It's got the fog on the ground, which is what they had.
I guess you have some extra sound cues.
She follows. Oh no, she's singing.
Oh, it's Gollum's cave.
She found the tuning crystal bowling ball.
The real reason the Balrog attacked the hater scene.
Why did it not roll into the water? Why did it stay on the lowest? Okay, fair enough.
Oh, the creature bellowing. That's the Balrog.
Or a nameless one.
No, it's the Balrog. It's the only thing that's been notified.
Hello, little dwarf. I just want to be friends.
I don't know.
Is she just gonna leave the lamp there?
Yes. Crystal's more important. Oh no. Why did it break now and not the entire way it rolled downhill?
Plot armor. It's really cringe.
So are these supposed to be the other 6 kings?
The other dwarf lords, probably. Some of these outfits are a little weird.
Why would they call him Aule?
Aule's favor.
Yeah.
They're assuming the Valar giving them the power.
No, they don't call him.
But the dwarves call him Mahal.
Yeah, but they're not speaking Dwarvish, or they are, but okay. The way the show seems to work is they're all speaking some sort of common language, or we're getting a translation of it. Because sometimes they spontaneously speak other languages.
Also, what is the hairstyle of that middle one?
I think he's a better actor than Elendil, personally. I think his character's trash, but I think he's a better actor.
Like, look at that hair. What the fuck?
Okay, so he's a servant of the other 6 kings.
Which is?
I don't know. Narvi looks like, it's me, Mario. He's got the little mustache going up.
Is this where they dig too deep? Yes, this is where they dig too deep. Oh, oops. Well, that's awkward.
They only dove too deep, like what, 3,000 years too early? Heavy is the hands of the king.
They're making him behave like Gollum or Bilbo, and like, oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
but that's not
Well-
how those rings work.
I'm trying to remember the lore on it. Like the rings of the men and dwarves were more inclined. Leaving aside the Sauron mind control effect.
They were, yeah, but the dwarves have a resistance against that, and so all they got was greed.
Well,
Greed
it accentuated the greed. But I'm saying the men and dwarven rings are supposed to have practical effects.
Mhm.
On the other ones that have like preservative effects.
Yes,
So like
aside from the corruption.
him using it to find deposits of minerals, that kind of makes sense a little bit. But I don't know if they did that on purpose or did that by accident.
Notice he doesn't come in about the whole 1 coin for the ring tribute.
Doesn't anyone think it odd that he literally punished his son for doing this, like, I don't know, 3 days ago in the showtime?
I don't know. Was it 3 days? I would say
I mean,
2.
it
Maybe.
can't be more than a month. Think about the time scale we've seen from the other events.
True.
I can hear the mountain. Then why can't you see the Balrog?
Is that a mini anvil?
Yeah, it's a paperweight. It's a mini anvil paperweight.
Yeah, so Medania, that was the name, right? Of
They're trying to be like, oh, he's so tired and weary. Celebrimbor.
It shows they don't really understand elven names.
What is happening?
Well, I'm guessing Medania is doing a coup.
He looks so lifeless.
Oh, yeah, look. So it fell on someone.
Why would you not leave it around?
But what am I supposed to think of this?
Now, he's supposed to have powers. He should be able to just reach out and draw the hammer to him.
Why is she invisible?
Because it's a ring. That's what rings do, right?
An eye. Oh my gosh!
Did like Sauron forge the One Ring off camera?
Yes. Maybe, I don't know.
They're doing the great eye.
Maybe in that 1 hour he was in Mordor, he forged the ring.
Maybe.
Without ever getting actually to Mount Doom.
But yeah, so Medania.
It had eyeballs. I saw it.
And the name is basically non-elfish name. It's a D&D elf name rather than a Tolkien elf name.
Well, she's like a D&D elf
So
too.
in the trailer, when they had you think that it was Galadriel, it says he's here. He's been here all along. It's actually her voice.
Ah, is it?
Yeah. You should have asked me, but I told them I wouldn't do it.
Wait, so Mithril is like anti-corruption magic?
Well,
You just add a bit more and the corruption effect gets cancelled?
in the show, since it's based on Silmaril, it should have that effect.
Like, his eyes are so lifeless.
In this show, literally, the way they set this up, anyone who touches Mithril, if they're evil, have evil thoughts, should get burned.
True.
I'll go.
Like, look at his eyes. His eyes are completely dead.
Yeah, I can't really see it. The resolution is a bit, not great on my end. Whose eyes do you refer to?
Sauron slash
Okay,
Anatar
yeah.
slash what we get. His eyes he just stares like this,
Oh, yeah, that's what you mean. Okay.
and it's just like, but why?
Because he's trying to be like an ethereal elf
That's
creature.
not what. Celebrimbor is pulling off the ethereal elf a lot more, and he's not even a freaking ethereal elf.
That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe the actor's like, I'm getting a paycheck. I'll just do what I with it.
Yeah. Mhm.
But like, Celebrimbor quite literally is the better actor.
Sure. Yeah. Well, or is it? Is it not?
The eyebrow arch.
Or perhaps.
Or perhaps the Elven Rings.
Anatar.
Yeah,
He's from
I
the
accept that
Valar.
because he's a dwarf.
Or worse, is he going to force the One Ring there?
Okay, the staring eye lifeless thing is really annoying.
Yeah, no, same. Maybe he makes the invisible ring into the one.
Is that the first time they mentioned the unseen world in this whole 2 seasons?
No, I think
speaking of
Why?
Sindarin. They're in Sindarin!
Why would Noldor elves? Oh.
because I mean, there is a
Also,
slight
going to be waiting for them in heaven with a
reason
quick
for it.
Bold of you to assume they're going to get to heaven.
No, but
she's
see,
she's supposed to be the new replacement, like Smith.
I think they are supposed to speak Sindarin, though.
But they bounce between Quenya and Sindarin different times.
That's problematic, but it should all be Sindarin most of the time, except
back in Sindarin,
back in Linden. Wow, specifically when
see now he has life in his eyes. Why can't he do this all the time?
At this point, in the books, he cooed Galadriel out of Ostinethil. So this would be a noble court of the Noldor elves. So it makes sense to speak Quenya when they're speaking important stuff or whatever, right? But even that being saying, he's not even an elf. They know, or some of them know, he's a
but
monarch.
Like the Noldor did adopt.
Okay, you guys are completely missing the entire thing of him like flirting with her, basically saying you're just.
Well, no, I'm choosing to ignore that.
We can see that, like but like
I
if
really
anything, they
just
should be
don't
speaking
care.
Quenya or what's the Valerian, whatever it's called.
Valarin.
Yeah, Valerian.
So we're back in Numenor?
Yep. The faithful are having a shipathon or whatever.
And
They speak Quenya.
They're speaking Quenya.
To be fair, that is correct.
Well, it would be outside of this context, but yes. It's a seashell.
Is that Mando?
These are the couple out of hundreds of soldiers. There's a couple losses, and apparently this is like a huge loss.
Oh no! A door slams open. Where is that? I thought that was a harbor. I would say, how does it feel to be ashamed of your daughter?
I would say I have no daughter.
And now Sindarin.
Yeah, the Sindarin there is that's yeah.
He's gonna pick it up and he's gonna drop it. Oops, Butterfingers. Called it.
Yeah, I guess that's satisfying to watch.
Yeah, he deserved that one. Getting sucked. He's gonna try to punch him. He's gonna break his hand.
That would be nice. Oh, well, too bad.
Well, I can't. You broke it. Oh, please. There's no way on earth he would be able to suck him like that. He's half the guy's weight. This is literally impossible.
Now, Valendil has a name. He's not actually. I mean, initially, he's not related to Elendil. Okay.
He could literally just kick them both into the water. Like, he's literally double the guy's size. This is probably going to get the kid guy killed or something.
Well, he's not dead. Do it. Do it.
Throw it in the water to be safe. Throw it in the water. Otherwise, he's going to stab you in the back. Oh, he's a freaking retard. Why? I called it! I hate being right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, he deserves it the way they rid him into this because
Like,
Basically,
free from
guys,
this contract now. I'm free.
Isildur's buddy just got stabbed by Ar-Pharazôn's retarded kid, and
Isildur's buddy, who stole the name of Isildur's actual heir.
Yeah. Well, maybe Isildur names him after this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy had multiple reasons to kill him because he's jealous because the girl he likes is this, that, and the other. But
Yeah, shouldn't Isildur have, or can Isildur, like, not this moron, has 3 sons who are like teenagers at this point?
I'm not sure about the timeline, but then again, the timeline is fixed
Uprising?
anyway.
oh man, this is
Yeah,
all
you're right.
fucking
Yeah.
screwed.
Maybe they were born after they fled. Yeah, because the baby Valendil was born in the aftermath of the War of the Last Alliance in Rivendell, when his wife was in Rivendell.
He's not one who masterfully manipulates metals because holy freaking crap, he didn't even know how to make alloys. Oh my gosh. This is by far the worst episode so far. Like, there's so much stupid going on in one short time period. Oh gosh, we still have like 20 minutes left.
20. Fuck.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
we've been watching this for hours.
It feels like ages. Like, I'm literally getting angry. I don't get angry. This is making me mad.
So, I looked it up. Isildur's eldest son is supposed to be roughly 20 when Numenor sinks.
Yeah, I remember something being teenage, and the youngest would have been born like in Rivendell, in Madras.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I rooting for Anatar?
That was not a lie. It wasn't a lie when I said that the forges were dead. And he'll make the 9 while he's gone. Oh, there you go.
But doesn't he also inherit and use the ring?
I don't know. I mean, technically, according to lore, probably, but
there's
that's
2
totally
versions
different
of
rings,
lore
totally
with the
different.
Dwarven ring. Okay, there's one where all 7 were distributed by Sauron, and there's one where one of them was given by Celebrimbor before the war happened, basically.
Yeah, but there is one ring with the Line of Durin.
The question is, when did it? In other words, did it get there many generations later from Sauron, or did it get there from the beginning at like the other version?
I suppose
Yeah.
it could be true. So then, if they want to keep it somewhat true to lore, Sauron would have to take the ring from Durin number 3, and then give it back after Durin number 4.
He's trying to bribe him back in by making him a prince again.
That's why this, like, a lot of the second age stuff didn't make it into the Silmarillion, because Tolkien had a whole bunch of ambiguous.
What's Disa gonna say? What's Disa gonna say? I don't know why she didn't go to the king to tell him what was going on.
We should do a coup again.
We'll have to overthrow the king. What? Yeah, she's gonna say that right now, is she?
course, we know what'll be happening.
Ah! Draw strength from the 3. What? That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Well,
magic, I guess. So
To
that's
be
the
technical,
explanation we
none
go
of this
with.
show works.
New alloys. Oh no, they're going to do new alloys.
He just learns about alloys and all of a sudden
There's
he
why
wants
the
to buy new
Regal was so
ones.
messed up. They had minority Smiths forging them. There we go. The show is again that the minorities are evil. See, the show continually does that. If only women and minorities did not forge those rings. That's what the show's telling me.
Mm-hmm. Fucking Medania. I hate that name so much.
That's how I feel, Kellen Brimore. I feel like this too.
I can't even imagine this guy as Celebrimbor in battle.
Well, his hands would shake, and that's how he would accidentally like chainsaw through his opponents with an axe.
So,
or something.
Elvin Smith 1 doesn't get a name. Right? It's just
That's
Elvin
because
Smith
he's a
1.
man.
But Medania does. Elvin Smith 2
Yes,
doesn't get a
because
name.
she's a main character.
That's the actual names, right? That's what the parents named them. Elvin
Oh,
Smith.
the name. Oh,
Yeah.
now it makes sense. I see. So, and one is the parent of the other, so it's Elvin Smith the first.
Oh,
Elvin
the
Smith
orcs are on the other side
Yeah,
of the
okay.
water. Can you imagine how pissed off Sauron would be if the orcs came up, laid siege in the middle of doing the rings get abandoned because of it? He'd be super pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And here the orcs are within eyesight of the city, and apparently the elves, who can see ridiculously far, can't see anything.
Wait, but is that the same mountain they used to show where Moria was? When they were digging?
There should be an army in a region. That's why Austin Hill is there. Oh, God. No.
This is Galadriel in this little wheelbarrow cart prison thing.
Austin Hill is literally supposed to be a military capital.
Mm-hmm. It's in the name. Ost. That's a fortress.
Kick him in the face. Nope. No.
This is such an embarrassment to the real Galadriel. Like she could literally kill all of them with the real one, all of them with her mind. Maybe she'll level up in the middle of this and become the real Galadriel in the show.
No, she allowed them to capture her.
She's gonna
Well,
snap his
that's
neck.
their plan. At the end of the season, she'll have a Super Saiyan power up and her hair will glow. See, now she's the real Galadriel.
Her little pincushion screwdriver.
Okay. Strictly speaking, given that he's literally older than her, by the way this show has done it, he should be like thousands of years older than her.
So he's going to argue that Sauron's their enemy. They tracked Sauron all the way to Eregion because he knew the entire time that. Oh,
it's done. Oh,
Hallelujah!
thank the God.
I hurt. I hurt so bad. I'm so angry. Oh, that was horrible.
I'm not sure what's worse, their own writing or the deviances from the lore.
Their own writing.
You know what's funny about the scene with the
Deviations
shrine?
from the law are sometimes acceptable if they are,
No, not deviations from the lore. Like withholding certain scenes that don't make sense in the scheme of the shortening of the progress. But you don't have to change the lore to do that. You just have to shorten events.
Sure, but even then, it's worse to have terrible writing than to deviate from the law.
Well, I mean, in their specific case, in what we're watching, not in general. I'm saying, is what they're in looking at their show, right? Is their writing worse or their blatant
yes,
yes.
The answer is yes to all the questions.
The writing is worse.
So okay,
than deviations from the law.
Going back to Numenor.
But the deviations from the law is also bad, but it's just the writing is so much worse.
Going back to Numenor, the shrine.
Yes.
Remember, he says it's blocking the new aqueduct. Why would the aqueduct be coming literally to ground level water?
Because they don't understand concepts like water flow, I guess.
It's literally the bottom. You're already at water level. You have water.
Yep.
That's
well,
not
maybe
they
need to do a pillar for an aqueduct that goes from one of the mountains.
It can go around
to another one. No, it has to be on the temple.
It could have been on top
because
of the temple.
It's politically motivated, not.
Well, obviously, it's politically motivated. I'm just saying that the lameness of the excuse was just like, oh, it's blocking the new aqueduct. Like, are you serious right now?
Yeah, no, okay, it is quite stupid.
Like, at least come up with a reasonable, feasible thing. Because if you go to all the faithful and say, yeah, they demolished the oldest shrine in Numenor just so they can put an aqueduct there, you're going to have uprisings. You're going to have people pissed off.
Well, at the point in time they're supposed to be at, which is 1,600 years in the future, there's literally only 9 ships worth of faithful left out of the entire population of Numenor.
Well, remember, these 9 ships can hold tens of thousands of people per piece. So
yeah, I guess
that's a whole freaking army.
Yeah, but I mean, the lore, the majority of the faithful had fled Numenor already and were on the mainland.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I saw this going down and there was no hope of possibly retaining that or giving it back, then I would have just gone to Middle Earth. I was just screwing. Like, the island itself would not be valuable to me if all it is dangerous for me to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if all they're going to do is piss off the Valar. If that's all they're going to do, and nothing I can do will save it, because think even in the Silmarillion, when Tar-Miriel is she's on top of the highest mountain trying to pray to the Valar and everything, she goes down with the island because they don't care. Valar's like, island gone. It's not like they said, oh, I'll have Ulmo show up and he'll save a couple of them.
It's Eru.
Well, even Eru's thinking it. It's just he doesn't care. He didn't save Tar-Miriel.
Yeah, he did. He took our soul.
That's not saving.
remember this. There's Catholic morality behind this. God has the right to terminate you, and it's not murder because God made you.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's murder. I'm saying he didn't save her. He could have caught her in like a fish boat or something.
He did save her. He just didn't spare her life.
I don't think you understand how that works.
I get what you're saying, but
if she dies, she dies. I know if she dies. But like if saving her was just killing her, he could have struck her with lightning immediately, so that way Ar-Pharazôn would never have claim to the throne.
So
that would be
by the time that was done, Eru acted. Ar-Pharazôn, the arm and the arm.
No, but her praying doesn't that stop the very top of the island from sinking?
No, the entire thing sinks. Every bit of it.
So,
but my point is that they could have Eru could have easily had her go into the water onto like some driftwood and then push it with Olmo's help or something. Or I mean, he could do it by himself, obviously, but to easily do that to save her, to show the people that I'm the true God. Obviously, the faithful didn't doubt that, but like her being there and dying means that if all the faithful had just stayed there, that means all the faithful period would have just gotten wiped out because Eru just didn't discriminate.
Well, no, the faithful were saved on the ships.
I know, but I'm saying if they hadn't left, Eru would have sunk. You're not listening. If Eru had sunk the island and none of the faithful had left on ships,
but he wouldn't have sunk the island unless they were on the ships.
Okay, keep up with me, Matt.
I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying what happened. I know what happened. What I'm saying is that if they weren't on the ship, it's not the what is it? It's like Sodom and Gomorrah kind of a thing where, if there's 10 righteous or 50 righteous men, if there's 10 righteous men, if there's one righteous man, I won't wipe out the city. That's not this case because there was at least if Tar-Mariel was the one, it would have been the one. So like that would have been it. There's like absolutely nothing. It's just I'm gonna blast this sucker. It's going down into the water, and if the boats had not been used by the faithful to escape, they would have all drowned.
No, they didn't. They were guided. They didn't just escape. The Valor helped them.
Mm-hmm.
They would have died too.
It's tomato. Either way, what I'm saying is that if the Valar hadn't come to their aid, if they didn't have ships, all the ships were burned except for the ones that were going to the military.
They were told to make the ships.
I know. I'm saying if they hadn't,
but then he would not have sunk the island.
Why wouldn't he have sunk the island? That was literally the punishment of Numenor.
That was the punishment because he got the faithful were removed.
Except not all the faithful were removed. That's my point.
Well, maybe she had to pay a price.
Why would she have to pay the price? She had no control over anything.
She went along with Ar-Pharazôn stuff.
But did she?
Yes, she did. She changed her name.
Well, changing her name doesn't mean that her viewpoint or beliefs changed.
She went along for it was like a decade or more before the great armament went to Numenor or to Valinor.
Did she aid him like human sacrifices? Is she killing people at the top of the hill?
Why didn't she denounce him in public and take the consequence of that?
Well, even if she did, what would have happened?
She would have remained faithful, and even if they executed her, she would have remained faithful.
Well, as far as according to what I remember from the Silmarillion, she was considered faithful at the end when she was praying, and still.
Well, she repented at the end.
Well, if she repented at the end, why was there no safety given to her by Olmo directly or something?
Our soul was taken to the afterlife, heaven, whatever you want to call it.
We're not talking about that, because if that was the case, you just kill all the faithful and all their souls are saved. Then you don't have to worry about the problem. That's not a valid way to think about it.
You're assuming Tolkien didn't write the way he did for a specific sequence of events to occur the way it didn't.
I know how they okay. Okay, Eru is supposed to be Catholically influenced to be God, right?
Eru is going to act just like Yahweh will. So anything Yahweh will do, Eru will do.
Yes, but even Yahweh put like limitations on what he would do because of people he cared about, aka Abraham and Lot. Lot wasn't even counted amongst the quote unquote faithful in Sodom and Gomorrah because there was one righteous person. He wasn't even in that counting.
It was like the biblical flood. I mean, anyone not on the ships, The
what?
Flood. Noah. Remember Noah's Ark?
Well, yeah, but that's because people mocked him and everybody was evil. Everybody was evil.
Well, everyone there was evil until the end when Tar-Mariel repented.
Yes, but they weren't repenting out of like sincerity if they wanted to get on the ark. They were repenting because they were afraid of dying.
Well, maybe he just said she did it. The prayer. He didn't say why she did it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is if she was faithful, then he could easily have saved her because he's Eru. And if he didn't do it,
All
the
the
Valar
other
could have done it.
faithful did not willfully help the Kingsmen. Remember, you remember the Kingsmen was sacrificing faithful to Melkor for that entire time period.
Yeah,
and she did nothing but live in the freaking
Why
palace.
why didn't they stand up and face the consequences? Their soul's saved you regardless if they die, according to
They
you.
did face the consequences of remaining faithful. They got burnt to death.
Some of them did, not all of them. What happened?
All
to
the ones they
rest of them?
caught.
Well, yes, but why did the rest of them not stand up?
Because they were fortified up in Anduni, protecting themselves.
But why wouldn't they just speak out about it and deal with the consequences like Muriel would have expected to do?
Why didn't she? Because they got out of there. None of them were in what's the main city name? Meneltarm is the mountain, right?
It's
I don't remember the name.
The faithful. By the time Farazan did his coup, they had all retreated into Anduni and basically fortified up.
I think it ends with Menos, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like that.
I feel like
Anyway, so the faithful had all fortified up in Anduni, and they were isolated. There were those that remained on the Numenor. Okay, and Tarmiriel was living up in the palace apparently. And why didn't she try to sneak out with them? Why didn't she go about with them?
So
I
the
deny all
capital
this.
city is called Armenelos.
Yeah,
sounds Greek.
I mean, I'm not saying she should have been killed, but look, when it comes down to it, you can't. You if you're staring at the meteor, you don't repent at that point in time. You know what I mean? You're like, oopsie, I'm sorry now, God. It's like,
yes, but what I'm saying is that there's no indication that she went along as much as she had no choice. Because if Ar-Pharazôn, if I recall correctly, literally raped her.
If she had,
the name is
written,
Quenya, not Greek, so
I know, but I'm saying
if
it sounds
she
like
had,
Heliopolis or something.
if she had like been opposed, like acted in opposition to them, Tolkien would have wrote it.
I know. All I'm saying is that we can't just necessarily, unless it's explicitly stated, which I do not recall it, maybe it is, that she went along with his things. Nothing she could have done. If the faithful are the only ones who would
well, no, she definitely went along with these things, but she may not have liked it.
Went along is different than like being there and not being able to do anything.
That's the definition.
When someone Tolkien commented about
went along with this when you're like, I don't agree, but I'll do it too.
Yeah,
that's going along with it. But being there and saying I don't want anything to do with this, but not being able to do anything else or do anything, period. Like if he just locks her in a tower and that's where
you have. Okay, fair enough. But she was not locked in a tower last I checked, right?
Do we know?
She is free to walk around such that she can ascend Meneltarma at some point.
Well, yeah.
And then be too late and get swallowed up by the ocean because, timing, I guess.
But my point is that just because you walk around does not mean you're free.
No, but you're freer than being locked in a tower.
Gerald Tolkien write that she actively resisted the Kingsmen?
I don't think his argument from silence. He didn't write on the topic period that I recall.
He has specifically said that when nothing important happened, he doesn't write it down. Like that's why there are no dwarven women who did anything.
But that's what I'm saying though, is that there is no news about Tarmiriel. We can't assume that she was unfaithful and then became faithful again.
Except
we
that
can't assume anything.
She changed her name to Zimthrael and apparently went along with that for was it 9 years to 10 years to get armament.
But you're also missing the pictures that it could be Ar-Pharazôn who gives her that name and commands that everybody uses that name for her, and then we have no other name to use for her.
Then why didn't
she has no choice?
Why didn't Tolkien write her resisting it?
Because it's not important, not to the story that he's telling.
Which means he didn't.
Means he didn't what?
If he had thought she resisted it, he would have wrote that down.
Why would he say that? Why would he write that?
Because
how does that push the story at all? Why
exactly? If he didn't write her resisting it, then she didn't resist it.
Why did he write her praying at the end? That's not an important thing.
To show her finally repenting.
It's not. There's no saying that she needed repenting because there's no evidence.
Except when he's had her praying at the end.
But you can pray without being repenting.
She goes, okay, so Al-Farazan stages his coup, forcibly marries her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. She never leaves the city and runs away. She never tries to kill him. She never tries to have a coup against him. Does none of that.
He might have a guard on her at all times. Who knows?
Yeah,
We
she
don't
might
know.
not be able to.
Why don't you jump out the
She can-
tower and kill herself?
Because
might have
if
somebody
she
watching her
kills
at all times.
herself, if she kills herself, then she has no way to fix any of the problems. So
Well, it's
maybe
also
she is
possible-
biding her time.
It's also possible that
But then again,
Ar-Pharazôn.
Tolkien
Hold
would
on,
have
hold on,
written
hold on,
that
hold on, hold on,
occurred.
hold on. It's also possible Ar-Pharazôn threatened her with the lives of the faithful, or all these other people she feels responsible
didn't
for.
write that.
It doesn't matter if he did or didn't. These
It
are
doesn't matter if he
possibilities.
did or didn't write that.
No, it doesn't, because that's an argument from silence that has literally no bearing on anything. The point is that we know Ar-Pharazôn is capable of evil. We know he's capable of doing things in a threatening manner. We know he's capable. I'm not saying that he did, but we know he's capable. So it's reasonable
So you can't assume
to
he did because we got no evidence he did.
No. The evidence is that we know that he is capable, so it's reasonable to assume
That's
that
not
he
evidence.
could do it. I said it's reasonable that he could do it.
It's not reasonable
It's
because
not-
there's no evidence.
That's not what reasonable means. Reasonable does not equal evidence. Reasonable means
No,
it's possible according to factors.
Form a process of reason, you need evidence. There is no evidence he did anything to
No,
other
you
than force-
don't.
other than the initial
If I-
force of marriage.
If I say, hey, Sage, Matt's a jerk, he's a loser, he's all these types of things, and you are those
No,
things.
Tolkien
Not
didn't
saying you
write
are.
that, so he isn't.
No.
That's
I'm
my
saying, like,
argument.
if I say that, and Matt goes around acting like a loser and acting like a jerk, I don't need evidence beyond that you're those things to say
No,
that the
but
next thing you do.
that
evidence
is
is
the
my
evidence.
behavior.
No. That's the evidence of him being a loser or a jerk. That's not the evidence of what actions he'll take afterwards under those things.
Sure.
He can go down the street and kick a cat. Do I say, well, it's reasonable that Matt went down the street and kicked a cat because he's a loser and a
You
jerk?
just made my point.
No, I didn't. Because
You just
there's
said
no evidence.
Al-Farazôn is evil, right? But that
Yes.
doesn't mean he's going to do evil things.
No, I said it's reasonable to presume an evil person would do evil things. So it's possible. It's within the realm of possibility that he could do
Here's
evil
the thing,
things. That's what I said.
This
You're like,
isn't
we don't have
something
evidence.
made up, right? This is something
Yes.
J.R.R. Tolkien wrote. So based on the evidence that
In
he
this case,
wrote,
he didn't write it.
and the evidence that he wrote, Al-Farazôn did the only evil things he did to Tamriel is the forcible marriage.
But also, there is an alternative version of this story where Tamriel actually loves Farazon.
That's alternative, though.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I mean,
we don't know if that means there's still some bit of that in
they're
there.
like, aren't they first
Well,
cousins? That would be a little.
Yes, they
creepy.
are.
Well,
They're
I
like
mean,
cousins.
it's weird. Sure,
Now, here's the thing.
I
Well,
didn't
mean,
write it.
Okay, there's lots of weird stuff in, like, the tragedies. What is it? Turambar,
Yeah.
him and his sister. Like, there's tragedies. There's weird
Mhm.
stuff. That's part of the story. That's what makes it a tragedy.
Yeah. Well,
It wouldn't be a tragedy otherwise.
Let's say let's say it's the alternative version where she actually loved him. If you love a serial killer
No,
and help them, doesn't mean you're okay. You did it.
But you're presuming she helps him. You can love somebody, not help them or agree with them. That's possible.
True.
But then why did she pray at the end?
That's what I don't know. He wrote it in there for some reason, but we don't know why. The only thing I can think of, logically speaking, from a reasonable perspective, knowing what we know of Tarmiriel and everything that's gone bad for her after Ar-Pharazôn took over, is that she was faithful. Blah, 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 blah. Ar-Pharazôn does a bunch of stuff. We see her at the end. She's on the mountain praying to Iluvatar and or the Valar. That's all we know about her life in this particular section. But we don't know that she ever participated in anything unless it says explicitly somewhere else, or even implicitly. I don't see anything implicitly in the Silmarillion either that does that. But if none of those happen, it's reasonable to presume, despite evidence, that she has not changed, because that change would be big enough to grant writing in. It wasn't written in, so it's reasonable to assume she was faithful the entire time, just was limited on what she could do. It's also reasonable that Ar-Pharazôn is evil, or reasonable to think that Ar-Pharazon's evil because he's done evil things. He tried to worship Melkor. Has Sauron be his advisor and everything. Like, we can see him being turned completely.
Well, is that because he's evil or because he just wants to be immortal?
Yes.
I mean, look,
if you do evil actions, whether you think you're evil or not is irrelevant. You're doing evil things. You are
I mean,
evil. Like
it's stated that Sauron converted almost the entire island to the worship of Melkor, other than the faithful, right?
okay,
So,
that doesn't change the fact of my argument.
so the question is, do you think Tamriel / Ar-Sinfarel remained among the faithful? I don't think so.
Do you have evidence for that?
The fact that she accepted the name change, didn't fight back, wasn't depicted as fighting back.
You might not have a say in the name change, dude.
And at the end, she was praying for forgiveness.
If Sage and I just randomly decide to call you Adam and then we never refer to you as Matt again, you don't have a choice. We just call you Adam from now on. No, you don't.
Yeah, I
can't do anything.
Turn the link off.
That doesn't change the fact that your name's now Adam. That just means you're not there. Tar Muriel doesn't have the chance to just turn off the stream when our first on
Yeah, she could jump out a window.
Yeah, but that would be
against her.
That would assume she's willing to give up on life just because she got renamed.
Yeah, I mean, somebody calling you a different name is not exactly a valid reason to just jump off a cliff.
Oh, but, wait a minute. Isn't that
41%? Just saying. Anyway, but if our Pharazon's like, I'll leave the faithful alone as long as you stand with me, which seems to be what happens, is that our Pharazon doesn't chase them to their area and destroy them completely, as far as we can tell, because of what happens afterwards. If he's holding her hostage by saying, you need to stay alive, you need to do everything in accordance to the people to validate my kingship, and I'll leave the faithful alone, she's not going to jump off a cliff and jump and die. Like, that's not going to happen because she'll feel responsible for her people, which is what a ruler does.
Okay, so I want to look this up. I remember. I'm trying to see, did she actually even get to pray?
I remember her saying something about her getting to the top, but
so I went
no, she doesn't quite make it in time.
It is said that Tamriel strove to reach the sacred peak of Menel Tamra before.
Yeah, but she was too late and got swept up by the water before she reached the peak.
Yeah, I'm whipping out the good old Silmarillion. I have the Fall of Numenor as well, but I'd rather find it in this. Turn bar. Doriath, Voyage Alcalabeth.
Other versions of Legendarium.
Did I go past it?
It's in the Alcalabeth.
Oh, it's in the Alcalabeth?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Voyage of Arendelle. Here, Alcalabeth.
Blah, blah, blah. And last of all the mounting wave, green and cold and plumed with foam, climbing over the land, took to its bosom Tamriel the queen, fairer than silver or ivory or pearls. Too late she strove to ascend the steep ways of the Menel Tarma to the holy place, for the waters overtook her, and her cry was lost in the roaring of the wind.
So, I mean, you can interpret it a lot of different ways. To me, it seems like she's trying to get to the holy place to return to the old ways and pray to Yeru and seek some sort of redemption.
I'm almost to it. It's page 280, apparently, in this version.
It specifically says, too late she strove to ascend. So if you take the meaning to strive as meaning that you want to
put effort into.
Yeah, too late she decided to put effort into doing that.
Okay, here we go.
Could mean that.
Yeah, climbing over the land, took to its bosom Tamriel the queen, fairer than silver, or ivory, or pearls. Too late she strove to ascend the steep ways of the Menel Tarma to the holy place specifically.
Yeah,
so the waters overtook her and her cry was lost. Yeah, I don't think that if I don't think Eru would be sitting there going, well, I know she's trying to pull this off. I'm just not going to let her get to the end. And then just like,
well, he would be saying emotion. I mean, the way you read it, he said it in motion.
Maybe he's like looking on her, going all the way to the top, and oh damn, I don't think she's going to.
You have to remember,
I may have done it a bit too soon. Oops.
Oopsies.
Okay, you have to remember the Catholic part of this for Tolkien's thinking, right? So her soul would be saved, so to speak, by Eru, because that's ultimately the physical is impermanent, impermanent all that stuff.
That would presume she's still counted among the faithful, if that was the case.
No, her soul, regardless.
All humans.
All humans.
Why
except the ones that are stuck on Valinor now under the rocks.
Yeah, under the
Basically,
eternal eye.
it's the Catholic rule. Like unless you reject God's judgment, you eventually get to heaven under Catholicism. So
Uh,
that's the Catholic rule. Like you're not arguing with that. That's
yeah, I
literally
know, but that's not saving someone's soul, because if that was the case, you just kill all of mankind and then you saved everyone's souls. And then it's like a valid reason to
you
do so.
reject if under Catholicism, if you reject God's judgment, that is when you go to hell. Anything else, and you eventually have a chance of salvation.
It's a little bit more nuanced than that. But my point is that if she's not rejecting, or if the faithful are there, why let the faithful even go over there? Why don't you just use the people that are already in Middle Earth and build them up?
But there's more of the faithful, but the leaders of the faithful are in Anduni.
I know, but I'm saying is that if you just killed everybody, you'd be saving them. But the whole point is that they're supposed to do stuff. But if she could make it there, then she could have resurrected Numenor from the faithful.
She strove too late.
I get that part. I'm just saying that even if she strove too late, Iluvatar has the power to save her. That's my point.
He did save her. He didn't save her life.
Yeah, I think you're missing the context. I'm not saying that he needed to save her soul. I'm saying he didn't save her life.
But why?
Because, for one, that's a ginormous, humongous miracle that basically just solidifies the faithful's belief no matter what.
But they already have the belief.
They have the belief. It never mentions how strong that belief is.
They're called the faithful.
Yes, but you can be part of the faithful and have doubts. That's totally fitting with inside of
Isn't that
Catholicism or
specifically
Christianity.
not having faith, though?
No, you can still have doubt. You can be like not sure of things. Faith just means trust.
Sure, but if you doubt, you don't trust it.
No. Okay, so if I was like, Sage, I'm going to do a trust fall. I can have doubts you'll be able to catch me for a plethora of reasons, like I might be too heavy, you might be too small, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that
But I can
last
still
one
say,
is definitely not going to be the case.
you're too small?
That's definitely not going to be the case.
What are you, 6'9"?
No, 6'5".
So yeah, too small.
No.
I don't see Sage his pro basketball career in Europe.
I know, right? But we don't know how tall he is because all we ever see is this part of his body. But
his desk is 3 feet below his head, like down here.
Basically, yeah. But like, my point is that if that were the case, I could have reason to be like, I do trust you, Sage, because you're my friend. But I also have doubts because I've been let down by others before. There's lots of reasons you could have doubts, but the ultimate, like, put the rubber to the road is going to be, I still fall and know you'll catch me. Doubts come in, but not letting the doubts win is the differentiation between the two. When you have the doubts win, that means you cease to trust completely.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, if you look at...
It seems like a slightly dodgy difference to me.
Not really, because if doubt...
Yeah, well, it does
If
seem
doubt was
like
something that
me.
completely removed your trust in someone, then you could never trust anyone, because there's always doubt in something, because we're human.
Yeah.
There's always fear. There's always doubt.
Like Ronald Reagan says, trust but verify.
Well, there's some things that are unverifiable.
Yeah, but that just means don't trust.
It means base your trust in rationality and not faith. There's different types of truth, basically.
You don't trust in rationality, though, because people have rationalities that are wrong.
Make a reasonable choice to trust someone, not a belief-based choice to someone.
But all reasonable choices are belief-based.
If I believe that
I don't think that
Sage is going to catch me, it's a reasonable.
Do you make decisions based on things you don't believe to be true?
Yeah.
What?
Such as?
Like business, work decisions. Sometimes the process I do in IT, it conflict, or in my various healthcare career. Like, I didn't believe in firing a person, for example, but I'm told to do it. I do it.
Well, yeah.
But why do you do it?
You're working inside of a framework.
Because the framework is rational and structural. I understand that, but personally,
Most frameworks for businesses are not rational or functional. I work
Besides
for a
the point.
corporation.
Besides the
It's
point,
not.
okay? Besides the point. If again, this is a human thing. If I were in a position, there are people I've had to help be in the process of firing.
Right,
If
right.
I were in a
But
position
see,
with the
Is it
job,
reasonable for
you
you to
do
eat the
it
food?
because you believe you should adhere to the structure that
No.
is the
In
thing.
order to keep your job, yes.
I
you
do it because I have to keep my
Yeah.
job.
You believe
Mhm.
you do it because
If you didn't
you have-
believe
No, I
that
know
was
I do it because I
important,
keep my job.
then you would
I do-
not.
well, people who believe in stuff know things too. It's not like
You
they're
can
not usually
you can
true.
have beliefs and knowledge, basically the two truths. Sometimes they're the same. Sometimes they're
There is no such thing as two truths. There's only one truth.
No,
Otherwise, I
there's
can make
two-
up whatever I
there
want
are
and call
two
it truth.
types of truth. There's that what you believe and that what you know.
But if I think they're the same thing, then no, that's not true.
It doesn't matter what you think. It matters what is.
Well, there's two truths, so it can't apparently it can't be.
And not two truths, two types.
Okay, is
Of
general relativity true?
There can
Because
be two understandings of truth. That's different than having two.
Is
truths.
general relativity true because people believe it's true?
Well, maybe they believe it's true because it's reasonable that it is true.
I didn't say that's not the question I asked.
I know, but that could be why they came to that conclusion.
But
You can't,
but it's still
you can't
but
force somebody down a pipe and not let them go
But
into the pipe
even-
and say, "Oh, look at
even
that!"
if that's
you
the
came to
case, that has no bearing on whether general relativity is true or not. No belief ever does.
Yes, but if I think it's reasonable to believe in it, and it's true, I found a reasonable reason to believe in it.
But that doesn't make it true.
But I have reason to believe it is true.
If you have a reasonable reason to believe in it, but it's actually not true, then you still believe in
Well,
it
then your
for a
reasons,
reasonable reason.
which is true also, but it could also be your reasons faulty, but you don't understand that, and the circumstances of your reason make you believe it's reasonable when it could not be.
No, but see, let's because
Well, here's what
this
you
is
can
an
say. This is the
example,
thing.
right?
Newton's laws of motion.
Newtonian mechanics, right, is perfectly reasonable
What is
and it works, but it is not correct.
what is it?
Newtonian mechanics,
Oh,
right? It's perfectly reasonable. You have a reasonable reason to believe it, but it's not actually true.
well, it's like Copernicus's model. It wasn't true, but it was reasonable to think it was true at the time, and then they came up with another
Right.
model later on.
But the reasoning is not faulty. It's just not super detailed.
It
It doesn't account for everything.
Yeah, it's not detailed.
A belief does not require that if you don't have access to the data for a reasoning process to get to the actual truth of something, you can still believe it. That's like in the 17th century, you could believe Newtonian mechanics are true, and to the
Because
best,
everything points towards it being
Yeah,
true.
but
The
in
reasoning
reality,
is
it's not
perfectly
true.
reasonable. Yes.
But keep in mind though, there's a couple different versions, quote unquote, of faith or belief or whatever you want to
Sure.
say. There's those that believe without evidence, aka blind faith, which
Mhm.
is not
Which
really
is
a
bad,
thing.
probably.
Which is always bad. It's you should never believe anything without evidence.
See, you're picking a subset of epistemology. Not there's different branches of epistemology. Okay, in
It's a lot of
the
branches of everything.
in the simplest one, the simplest basic level, there's basically two types of truth: that which you hold to be true, which is a belief, and that which you know to be true, which means proof to be true, which is knowledge.
Well, technically, both of those could be technically false.
Yes. But the difference
Not
is
much,
in how you
not much
perceive
truth involved in that regard. If they could both be false,
Well, a belief can't really be false. It can be.
I can believe Sage will catch me, and he doesn't catch me. That's false belief.
If you
Mhm.
believe it till you
Like,
die, it's still true.
No, it's still false because I died because he didn't catch me.
But it's subjectively to you, the instant you died or whatever, you believed it. So it's true.
Well, I could believe it, sure, but it doesn't mean it was true. Like literally, my death because Sage did not catch me is literally the antithesis.
But the belief is true.
Whatever.
It's not objective.
The belief was not true.
Would it be objectively
believe
true?
it,
No, that's
but
knowledge.
the belief that he would catch me was in fact false. It was not true.
Right,
If he
but the
did
fact
catch me-
that you believe it is true. That's
So
what
we're
he
talking about
means.
3 levels of belief now, or 3 levels of truth now?
No.
The fact that I
Yeah.
believe something to be true, the fact that I believe something that is true, and the knowledge of truth?
No.
If
I was
you
talking about 2
believe-
different types, and you guys are out of the
if
third
you
one all of a
believe
sudden.
someone is a serial killer and kill them, and it turns they're not, but they're still dead, your belief caused their death. Therefore,
I would say fear caused your death, but yeah.
Why fear?
and you never find it.
Well, because you were
Why do
feared
you
they were a
assume I
serial killer.
fear the serial killer?
I said you believed they were.
Maybe
a
I
Would you
just-
not would you not fear a serial killer? That's why you killed them.
Well, I don't feel more powerful.
Oh, yeah. That just means you're the serial killer we have to kill.
Wait a minute.
Inception. No, my point is that okay, if I think someone's a serial killer, if I act
Now,
and
no
kill them,
thinking, no thinking, believing.
okay, if I
When you
believe a
say
person,
think, you're talking. I know your language. You're talking about you reasonably assessing the process, not the real world thinking that we talked about last week, where your brain just
like I
already
said,
trusts.
blind faith or regular faith. Regular faith just means trust because you have a reason to believe so. That's all. That's the difference between faith and blind faith. Blind faith means you have absolutely no ground, no foundation whatsoever, but you believe it. Like I can believe the world is flat without any.
Well, no,
explanation
actually,
or
that's not
anything.
the difference between faith and blind faith, because blind faith is also faith. It should be
That's not how
seeing
trust
faith or
works, though.
something.
No, trust. Okay, faith is literally, I believe, just the Greek word for trust.
Well, it's not Greek; it's English. But
Oh, come on, you know what I mean. Transliteration. Get
yeah,
over
I'm
it.
not sure where it comes from.
I'm pretty sure it is Greek,
But
but
for sake of argument, we have to go with the English definition since we're talking English.
I don't care about the English definition. I'm saying it's just the transliteration from one word to another word.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, but I
literally
do
it.
care about the English definition because we're speaking English.
Yeah.
I know, but the definition's the same. The word is different. That's literally the difference. That's what transliteration is. If Jesus'
It's
name
not
is
though. It's not
if
the same
Jesus' name is
definition.
Yeshua or Yehu, we just say Jesus in English. But guess what? The meaning of the words in both situations is the same.
Maybe.
Sure, but
That's what
that's not
transliteration is.
entirely
That's how
true.
translations work.
Yeah, but that's not entirely true for words that have a
Well,
basis in an ancient language, but the meaning of which has evolved over time.
yeah. Well, this is a Tolkien thing, by the way. The reason the Silmarillion took so long to
Linguistic
write,
guys think linguistic things. What?
the reason the Silmarillion took so long to write and was never done. You don't realize what the Silmarillion is. The Silmarillion is the histories as developed to produce the Elven languages.
Well, yeah, it's just the history of the world from the elves' perspective.
No. When Tolkien made the Silmarillion, what the date in it, he's writing the history of the elves that produced the Elven languages. The Elven languages and why they are what they are is his main thing. So, in other words, that history is structured.
Faith comes from Latin, not Greek.
Was it Latin? Apologies.
So, when you and the
But
context
faith
of that
comes from
is
Latin, or
when you
the
look at a translation of a
Faith
word,
comes from the Latin word fidem.
feed them all.
fidem fidelis, is it fourth declension?
I don't fucking know.
It's not first, not second, not third. It's a fourth. I think it's fourth
Oxford Academic has something on this. Faith is trust. It goes on about the Reformed theological tradition, etc. I'm going to see if it gives me anything specific. There was a snippet. It says, trust is the apt response to a speaker's promises. It's only in virtue of God, in terms of Catholicism and Christianity, it is only in virtue of God's promises received appropriately that the Christian is made righteous before God, and the need to be made righteous before God is a central problem addressed by faith. But the Oxford Academic has a bit on that. So faith involves trusting in something you cannot explicitly prove, but you have a reason to believe so. So if somebody gives you their word, you have no proof to show that they can keep or that they will keep their word or anything like that, but
Yeah.
you have proof that they have in the past, therefore you have reason to believe and trust them. That kind of a thing. That's what faith is.
And then the other type is stuff that you can prove.
Yeah. Belief versus knowledge.
Well, knowledge can be wrong.
Yeah, so can belief.
I know, but I don't know. Okay, so what are you finding under definition for this? I want to look it up. Are you just looking up faith definitions? Is that what you're doing?
I mean, I'm not doing anything.
So
faith
I gotta get
means
ready for
complete trust or
something.
confidence in something, according to Oxford Languages. Complete trust or confidence in someone or something, or a strong belief in God or in the doctrines of religion based on spiritual apprehension rather than proof.
I was just going by the definition you read out before,
Which one?
which was
So,
specifically about
I'm
believing
running
in
into my
something
time
without
limit here, guys.
being able to definitely prove it.
So we want to do like a wrap up on the episode.
Oh yeah, sure.
You got to leave? What? There's no leaving this.
Oh, it's a special.
We all have to be miserable forever.
It's
no.
a special night. On Roman's show, he's gotten to his 500 subs, so he's being forced to do he's being forced to do a movie he hates, The Fifth Element. He hates everyone with any other movie, and we're making him do a review of it tonight.
He gets to see Uma
Interesting.
Thurman in like really, or no, not Uma Thurman. Oh my gosh, frick, Mila Jovovich, isn't it?
No, the goddess Mila Jovovich. Yes.
Yes, he gets to see her in a freaking like onesie little bikini looking thing.
He hates this movie. He was rewatching it, and he was texting me like, "Matt, I can't stand it. I'm going to go crazy."
And what's the reason?
I don't know. Something like I can understand.
He doesn't have any reason. That's the point. He has blind faith.
You know, some people dislike. Some people just dislike a movie or whatever, no matter what.
Yeah, okay, that's
unreasonable. Yes, exactly.
I mean, Fifth Element's not a great movie, but it's a fun movie. You know what I mean? Plus Mila Jovovich, and Bruce Willis.
It's like Mila Jovovich should have been like the only reason you got to watch that.
Yeah.
Really.
I can definitely see that.
Well, it's a fun. It's like what they call a popcorn movie. You watch it, you have fun watching it because it's it doesn't get overly complicated with the plot.
I'm not sure popcorn movie is the term I would use, but yeah, I can understand what you mean.
Well, it doesn't. This is my biggest complaint about movies. It's like every decade it gets worse, right? And so way back, like on Jacob Ironside's channel, we review a lot of older movies, and we reviewed like a bunch of the old horror films from Universal in the 30s, last Halloween, and they were like 1 hour movies, and they were better than modern versions of those movies that were like 2 or 3 hours. And I'm like, it's like every decade they add like 10, 15 minutes extra to a movie. And they slow the pacing down, they add stupid plot elements that, like, even in great movies, they irritate you. You know, it's you're like, why is this stupid 2-minute scene here, or why,
I noticed that I was watching Mayor of Kingstown, and there's just so many like driving scenes where he's just like,
"Oh yeah, I'll give you an
I'm
even
just
better
like,
example.
You could have just moved the plot. Instead, you're just sitting here in the car watching the guy drive. What's going on?"
I'll give you an even better example. The Godfather, which is a legitimately great movie, right? Go back and think about the scenes where Michael's in the hospital. How long did they show him wheeling the stretcher around? They could have showed 7 seconds of that. Or when Sonny is killed by the machine guns, they show him driving the car forever to get to the,
Look like, they massacred my boy.
Like there's a lot of movie. I'm not saying, it just gets really annoying when you it's 2 hours of your life or whatever, and you find out 15 minutes and it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
That's the way it is with modern stuff, but also some of the old classics. But I mean, I've seen some stuff that's much better. But either way, give Roman my congratulations on the 500 subs.
If he doesn't stroke out, because it's going to be 100 degrees in his garage.
Well, if he does, you can just take over his channel. That's all good. But anyway, we'll go ahead and I guess end it here since everyone wants to pansy out.
This episode was it was not as bad as the fourth episode.
No. This was worse.
I agree. It was worse.
I would have rather watched the Harfoots.
The last episodes were just boring, but this one's actively
offensive.
Offensive.
Didn't they bring up the elf souls dying again in one of the last 2 episodes?
No, I don't think that was in the last.
Maybe in the third one then. Whatever episode they brought that up again, and like the ring saved us from our souls.
Maybe it's when
that'd have been the first.
They get the rings back from Kirdan.
Yeah, so someone that to me was the worst episode. So
probably the third episode.
Sure.
Yeah,
but worse then.
I would say this is worse, but this is because it's actively worse. Like not just in like offensive to Tolkien, but also like offensive in just writing in general. Like doing blatantly stupid things, like instead of dropping the sword in the water, the guy just like dropped it right next to the guy. I was just like, you easily could have walked away from this.
Just kill
Easily.
him.
But he's also a soldier, allegedly, and a soldier would never just leave his back turned to an enemy, even if the enemy's been disabled. He'd have stood sideways.
It was horrible writing, predictable and horrible writing at the same time.
But that's the problem. Is like, I mean, I can understand them being like completely stupid when it comes to Tolkien and everything involved with Tolkien, and Silmarillion content.
There's also, of course, the writers, right? These are the same people who did the last few seasons of Game of Thrones, right?
Probably. I mean, all Rings of Power is just Game of Thrones season 8 extended edition.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it is. But
so we know the writers are not particularly.
Actually, there's bad writing on the screen right now. Would it be a Numenorian guard?
Yes, but
yeah.
I mean, technically, I guess this works.
Yeah, that's probably more of a that's probably more of just not understanding how the words work as much as like them writing actively. And I like the Commander of the South, Gianni Spark. She's the elf who's dressing down Gil-galad for literally like, you don't just talk to the High King of the elves that way. And, like, what? That's not how that works. But
the High King is like 7,000 years old. You know?
Yeah, but it's like the writing was just so criminal. The behaviors were so criminal because of the writing, and it's just like it was blatantly offensive. And just like if this was anything else other than Rings of Power or anything Tolkien based, I'd be offended, because it's just I hate people who are seemingly intelligent doing blatantly dumb stuff that they could easily have avoided if they just weren't stupid.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like horror movies. There's a serial killer around, but you just like basically, let's go camping outside with no protection, no weapons, no nothing. Like that, someone's going to go around and kill people. Why would you do that? Like it's stupid. It's really stupid. Anyway, we'll go ahead and call that there, folks. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us how you feel about this episode, because I feel horrible about this episode. But hopefully you found more fun in the last 42 minutes of our conversation.
It burnt out my soul watching this episode. I am like the elves.
Except I'm the elves without the rings. I just want to fade away.
I'm a soulless Sam on Supernatural now.
That's unfortunate, I guess.
Oh, gosh. Well, I should say I feel I can really feel for Tar Miriel not making it to the top of the mountain in time.
maybe she didn't want to make it because she watched this show. She was like,
well, yeah. She actively tried to get up there, so she obviously wanted to. Otherwise, she'd just stayed wherever she was. I just don't think, even if she had gotten there, nothing would have changed, because Eru knows that she's going to try to get up there, and regardless, it wouldn't have changed anything, because Eru was already going to do it anyway. And I kind of disagree with how that is done in that regard, but that is neither here nor there. We can talk about that a different time off stream or something. But yeah, comment in the comments, guys, and let us know what you guys think about the episode. I know you obviously didn't see what we've seen, but you did read what we read.
Also, since we're talking about elves, Rian, right? That's also not how elf names work. Because this here would be a proper noun, and elves never use proper nouns for names. Well,
they're all
example,
improper.
No. I mean, okay, maybe that's the wrong phrasing. It is a word that means a single thing. So in this case, it's queen, right? You would never have a word for a name. It's always a combination of two words, at least. Yeah. So, for example, this comes directly stolen from Calabrian, right? The Silver Queen. Silver Queen, you combine a word, but you never use silver or queen on their own.
Their name.
Yeah.
Well, they just left out the rest of it because it's an honorary. I don't know. But yeah. Leave it in the comments. Tell us how bad you guys thought this episode was. If you guys enjoyed us shrieking about it, because I felt like I literally had my blood boiling. I was just like, oh, this has got to stop. This is just bad.
Yeah.
I did not feel this way for the first 4 episodes. Keep that in mind.
If you want bonus points, alter your comments between Sindarin and Quenya.
Ooh.
Oh. He'd probably still do a better job than the Rings of Power running team. Even if you butchered half of it, it'd still be better. But yeah. Thanks
So
everybody for go ahead.
yeah, so Numenor should have Quenya, no Sindarin. And they use Sindarin, of course. And
they
the
don't use
Noldor in Eregion should be Sindarin mostly, except Quenya specifically when talking only among the nobility among themselves.
Yeah, I remember that part. They talked about amongst their own kin on Quenya, but mostly Sindarin. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and end it there, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Mhm.
For those of you who braved the storm that we had to go through, this tumultuous storm. But yeah, thanks everybody for holding and hanging with us, and look forward to the next 3 episodes because I'm gonna die. Or no, is it 3 episodes?
Three.
this
Yeah,
is more episodes.
this is number 5, so there's only 3 left.
I look forward to them being over.
Only
Yes.
3.
I still
I
haven't
want
watched all of season 1.
I love that Sauron
not
still got a giant boner for Galadriel because reasons.
Does he?
Okay, you apparently were just talking and weren't paying attention because he was going to the little blonde girl and you look just like her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed
Like
that.
who? He's like Galadriel, and she's like, oh, yeah.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah.
Their
What
entire
happens if you
ring
don't pay attention, Sage?
No, I was probably thinking about the details of the ring because that was after the whole floating hammer scene.
I was
right?
thinking about jumping off a cliff, but yes.
Yeah. I was trying to track down.
I
a
want.
wolf.
I wanted to pull a Denethor and run off the top of Minister.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
But yeah,
Yeah.
continue.
so thanks everybody for hanging out, and look forward to the next 3 episodes. We won't be, but if you like to see our
Mhm.
misery, you'll probably enjoy it. So thanks everybody. Remember, my friends, walk in the light.
Farewell.